No matter how many times I hear that clicking sound, ladies and gentlemen, I can never get tired of it. Hello everyone, my name's Frosty RMB, the Frostman himself, Nintendo Let's Player, streamer, and casual 100% completionist. Today I want to show you guys the Nintendo Switch collection I have, some information you should know before starting to collecting it, and my opinions on it really. So, for those who do not know, the Nintendo Switch is technically a hybrid console. However, mine, it just stays docked. And the main reason why is because I don't find the Switch to be very handheld friendly for me, because I guess it's because my hands are really small and I don't like playing this with the long sessions. That's why I kind of stick with the dock mode. And also, for those who are curious, there are two different models. This is the 1.0 version I have today, but the other two I'm referring to is the 2.0, which just has longer battery. But at the end of the day, if you just play your Switch dock mode, it doesn't really matter as much because your Switch is always charging when it's docked. And also, let's talk about the Switch Lite. Switch Lite is a feather compared to this thing. And I kid you not, I used to have a Nintendo Switch, the yellow one to be exact. I did an unboxing of it a few months ago, but I had to sell it with a few other things too. So if you want to get into the handheld stuff exclusively, I would highly recommend the Switch Lite, but there are some games that won't be compatible with it because you need to detach the Joy-Cons, which, speaking of Joy-Cons, my Switch, the yellow one that you guys have seen, I purchased a pair separately, but technically Joy-Cons are region free, and Joy-Cons are really easy to fake these days actually, especially with the coating and paint. So to check what colors are real, honestly, you could do serial number lookup, you could do model number lookup, or if you want to be me, that's pretty hard to fake. At the beginning of the video I showed you guys the clicking thing. Normally they would show colors on the side, and that's the color of the Joy-Con that's associated with the data. Honestly, it's just cosmetic stuff, but just be aware of fake Joy-Cons. So the Switch, I got mine during year 2 with Mario Odyssey, and I got the asymmetrical version. So I've had this OG version since, day 1 of my purchase. I have not regretted it. So yeah. Another reason why I play dock mode only is because of the Pro Controller. This makes most of my JRPGs so much easier to measure my momentum and depth perception of combat, because all the games I have really, they're not too handheld friendly, but that's just a subjective opinion. But I love using the Pro Controller because, well, Joy-Cons, again, they're not my cup of tea for gripping, so yeah, question mark. I know a lot of people have different opinions, but Pro Controller has several different variants. My favorite one is, of course, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so that's awesome. Pretty rare to find these days, though. When I used to go to university back home, vice versa, I would always have the Switch case. These days, I barely use it anymore, but it came with a 4 cartridge slots, cases, and then 2 of these SD cards. And yes, unlike the PS Vita, you can interchange the SD cards. However, that SD card has to be purely dedicated to that said Switch. It doesn't matter which unit you're using, it's only assigned to that particular Switch. Because if you pull out that SD card onto a different Switch, it's going to format it and then assign to that SD card. So just be aware of that. And I keep most of my games on Switch physical exclusive, and we'll talk more about that with the games I have, because last year I went from 40 games to now 12-ish because life happens. So why don't we go ahead and get straight to the game. Alright, on to the games. We have, starting off with Astro Chain. It's an action-adventure game, mission tradition to be exact, where you play as either the guy or the girl. They're both twins, by the way. Twincest, question mark. You do take control of these, I guess you can call it partner slash comrade, called legions. I can't explain them too much without spoiling the story, but it's essentially your comrade for battle when you go to the weird paranormal activities sections. So that's that. Um, you can find this pretty cheap used, but if you're trying to find this brand new in stores, you're gonna be paying, I believe, $59.99 plus sales tax. Which brings me to my next point. Switch games, I pay almost close to $70 because Washington sales tax is absurdly aggressive. But hey, that's a story for a different day. So I would highly recommend Astro Chain. It's pretty underrated due to the next game that we're about to show off, which is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Oh man, this game. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When they first revealed this game, I thought it was gonna be the same hype as Awakening was back at the 3DS. Back then, I recommended Awakening as a starting game. I think this is a really good starting game too. I think this game is way better than Awakening. To me, Awakening is like my least favorite Fire Emblem game I've played. But Three Houses, you're getting a lot of content. There's free roaming in the schools. You get to pick which of the three academies. I think they're called academies or schools, but roll with it. Byleth is either you play female, male. Doesn't really matter as much as far as I know. But yeah, I have not finished this game. It's tactical JRPG. Not my cup of tea because I don't care for stories in video games, but this one's actually pretty fast paced. Link's Awakening for the Switch. This is the revamp / reimagine of the first game on the Game Boy. Not the Game Boy Color, but the Game Boy. It has the color dungeon still, and it has the Funko Pop. They added a lot of different additions as well to this game, like the Dungeon Maker, which a lot of people thought was going to be a Zelda Maker, but nah. Nintendo didn't want to go with it for whatever reason. So, this is the only Zelda game on the Switch, in my personal opinion, unless we're counting Hyrule Warriors. We don't count the Breath of the Wild. I'm just saying. No, I despise that game. But anyways, story for a different day. Definitely short side, but pretty damn good nonetheless. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. No, this is Luigi's Mansion 3. This game has some really great graphics, which is saying a lot because Nintendo doesn't focus on graphics as much as the other companies. But Luigi's Mansion 3 takes place in a haunted hotel, which you go by floor. Pretty non-linear compared to Luigi's Mansion 2 / Dark Moon. But I would recommend this game probably during when you're reached to the point after your 5th game. I would say this is more like a mid-game collector. Not only is it short, the puzzles in this are really good. And that's one thing that a lot of people complain about this game, is its puzzles. But what's wrong with you people? It's a great game. Great puzzles. I'd recommend it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I don't know if it's Deluxe or Definitive Edition, but hey, I'm just going to call it Deluxe. So, this is a remake of both the Red Rescue Team for the Game Boy Advance and Blue Rescue Team for the DS, if I'm not mistaken. But oh man, on my quiz, I got the perfect starter for bias for my part. Chikorita, man. Who's Team Chikorita? Hashtag Team Chikorita. It's pretty much a dungeon crawler RPG. It's very different compared to the mainline games, which, again, story for a different day on my part. But it's a really good game. And this one goes a little bit further by adding a few other renditions as well. I have not finished this, but it's a great Pokemon spin-off game. I love the Pokemon spin-offs way more than the mainline series. So this may be a good recommendation, but it depends how you feel about dungeon crawling and RPG mechanics. So I would recommend this. Speaking of RPGs, do you guys know you can exercise with RPGs too? With Ring Fit Adventure as well. Yeah, the in-game cover art's not that great compared to the rest of the games I showed you guys, but it's pretty much a workout game in a JRPG setting. That's the best way I can put it. But this game has no standard edition as of this recording, because when you open up this pizza box, right, it comes with the thing called a ring con. And you need the ring con to actually play the game. I tried it. I tried playing without it, and the game doesn't allow me to play it, so... It's interesting, but Ring Fit Adventure used to be really crazy expensive. But now it's like... Now because it's like back in stock, it's good. It's good. Scalpers have like pretty much quit on it. Super Mario Odyssey. What do I need to talk about this game? 3D sandbox Super Mario game. Honestly, this is the day one purchase I got when I first got my Switch. I would highly recommend this over Breath of the Wild. Not only does it have great indicators of where to what to do next or where to go next, but you can do pretty much almost anything you want in this game. And for a while now, the Jump Jump Superstar used to be the number one, or at least the top 15 songs on iTunes when this first came out. It's a great song. I highly recommend this game if you've not picked it up yet. I have a very underrated title because this is a Wii U port called Fire Emblem, not Fire Emblem, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. Yes, it's Sharp FE, not hashtag FE. The main reason why I stumbled upon Fire Emblem is because this is a crossover between, I would say, more Persona and Fire Emblem rather than Shin Megami Tensei. And the main reason why, because you summon these manifestation things called performas. And if that doesn't tell you guys it's not Persona, I don't know what does. I have not finished it. I will be finishing this up maybe next year or so. I already have a lot of JRPGs under my radar. But what they did with this one so far, from what I could tell, is that they added more side content for this one compared to the Wii U. I've never played the Wii U port, but this is a really interesting game. Not for everyone, that's for sure, but if you're a fan of JRPG games, give this one a try, but again, it's not for everyone. I have Xenoblade Chronicles DE Special Edition, if you guys can't tell. I'm looking for the Standard Edition though. Already did an unboxing of this, so go check out that video. Xenoblade Chronicles DE, this game really needed a remake from both the 3DS and the Wii. They added a lot of new features, including better indication of where to go next, expert mode, super casual mode. They added a lot more casual friendly features this time around. And they do have a new epilogue which talks about one of the main characters' stories, but I won't spoil that. I highly recommend you play the main game first before doing the epilogue, despite it being a little bit different, because spoiler alerts, stuff happens. And it takes place a couple months after the main story. So, honestly, I would highly recommend starting with this one. I believe this is my number one game of all time. Maybe second, because it's tied with Persona 4 Golden. But Xenoblade Chronicles DE, highly recommend it. It's a really fast-paced MMO JRPG. 2 games, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then Torn in the Golden Country. Now, I used to love this game, like, religiously, I'm not gonna lie. But ever since the certain fan base started flagging on my videos, it's pretty much ranked down to my top 20 instead of top 10. But unlike Xenoblade Chronicles DE, these 2 games are separate in a parallel different universe, if that makes sense. And this game, the base game has terrible tutorials. A lot of people complained that the gameplay wasn't really classified enough, which I will agree with. But Torn in the Golden Country has way better tutorials. So you're going to have to pick. You stick with the main story without getting spoiled and deal with the terrible tutorials and look up online guides, such as my Let's Play, by the way. Definitely recommend checking out that Let's Play, by the way. Or you play Torna while being spoiled, but you have better tutorials and you can refer back to those said tutorials. You have to pick your poison, because this one, once they explain the tutorials, it's gone from out there. So again, I've done Let's Plays of both of these games, 100% completion. Both of them, I would highly recommend it, but you're going to have to get used to it with the slow combat for the first 4 chapters, and then it starts picking back up. Like, it starts really speeding through as you progress through the games. So, yeah. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's my entire Switch collection. Hopefully you enjoyed what I had to say. Leave any comments below if I left anything for any information. I'm pretty damn sure there's a lot of information I've forgotten. Interested in checking out the live streams for gameplay, because I stream pretty much multiple consoles nowadays. All the gaming links will be down below, twitch.tv/FrostyRB. I'm just playing casual games at the moment, but we will get back to Let's Play completionist projects later on. I'm just not sure when. So, all I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, is stay chilly, keep gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one.